Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and the new Nigeria is possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, once again, we are here to discuss and deliberate on the things that are happening in Nigeria. As you know, Chief Bola Tinubu had defied all odds, despite his broadcast of yesterday to have cared for the nation and the suffering of the people. He has said bye-bye to Nigeria today, departing on a vacation in the United Kingdom for 2 weeks, according to them. However, before then, if obviously you had watched the Chief Bola Tinubu's broadcast, you will notice that that very speech of yesterday and his claims of the administration's economic reforms that had attracted over 30 billion in foreign direct investment between 2023 and 2024 was all lies. The fact check has revealed that Chief Bola Tinubu lied to Nigerians on national TV. Let me quote him. He said, "Thanks to the reforms, our country attracted foreign direct investment more than 30 billion in the last year," he said. This Tinubu's claim may have been based on a statement made by Doris Uzoka, that is the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, since this February of this 2024. She mentioned as at that time that the country has secured 30 billion in investment commitment from various investors, and that these commitments are not immediate investment, are expected to be redeemed over a period of 5 years to 8 years. The data from the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, and other reports raises significant question about Tinubu's claim. From the second quarter of 2023, when Tinubu assumed office, to the first quarter of 2024, Nigeria only attracted about less than 500 million, 448.95 million in actual foreign direct investment, contrary to the very high amount of 30 billion that he mentioned. But we'll be having that very discussion. We'll be also bringing into you a discussion of today in Abuja, reports coming in, notwithstanding the protests happening in Nigeria. Tinubu chose to depart, not caring. He doesn't want to know what happens to anybody. Not the hunger protest, not the fearless in October, not end bad governance. He does not care, does not listen, and tell Nigerians to your tent and depart to UK. I have many Nigerians to discuss this, and of course their reactions are coming all over, but I have active obedience who usually join us for these discussions, and we are going to have today. Of course, we still talk more on the fearless in October protest, which of course we've seen low turnout in Abuja due to the tear gas, and of course massive turnout in Lagos, and we'll be bringing you some of the states where these things happened one by each. But let's start with the discussion with our discussants on Zoom. I will start with Mr. Bassi. Mr. Bassi, let's get straight to the issue of the lies of Mr. Chief Bola Tinubu, who had obviously lied to Nigerians about the attraction of funds. Can you tell us by what the reports we've gotten from the Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria about these lies, and try to clear our people to understand that this is not the first, not the second, not the third time that Chief Bola Tinubu had decided to lie to Nigerians? Mr. Bassi.
Thank you, Mr. Kanu. Thanks for having me. I've always said that this government is notorious for misinformation, propaganda,
Mr. Kini, are you there?
Chidi, can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead. I'm just hearing you again.
Okay. when that speech came yesterday, I was trying to, put things together to ask myself a question. Did we actually attracted 30 billion in the last dollars in the last 1 year? If yes, I have not seen the effect of $30 billion in this economy in the past 1 year. And if you know what 30 billion means in today's conversion, we're talking about 50 trillion naira. If truly we have that in this country, that would have stimulated our economy. Some of the things we are going through in the economy would have been at a lower scale. And this government just, it's not as if they do it as a way of mistake. It's a deliberate act to mislead Nigerians so that they can get favor from the entire Nigerian public. And it is very sad that the leader of a nation is the one misleading the entire nation. In a sane environment, that is an impeachable offense. Because you are telling Nigerians that we've attracted an investment that never happened. Not just that, the government also made another spurious claim that they've been able to pay back the ways and means of 30 trillion. And that again was another lie. So when you look at the entire speech of Mr. President yesterday, that speech was riddled with a lot of lies. And the truth is that this is what they use using the mainstream media and the so-called Ibadan newspaper or media to push this narrative into the system so that they can get sympathy from their supporters. And I've always said that this government is heading nowhere. If there is any way they are heading, they are actually taking Nigeria in the wrong direction. And unfortunately, we have a rubber stamp National Assembly, or what I will call a photocopy, who will not query some of these actions, who will not make the government put them under pressure to be alive to their responsibility, but they will rather support them and help to ferry these lies to Nigerian public. And like I said, they keep saying that the economy is looking up, things are looking up in the country. I don't see that happening, because when you look at the body language of the government of the day, it does not show, it does not point to the fact that we are heading in the right direction, but rather we are heading deep in the wrong direction. And only God knows to what extent and who is going to bail us out of this. And that again brings me to the issue of the protest, because Nigerians must wake up, rise up, and stop being docile over the affairs of the nation. I don't understand why the entire nation is keeping quiet over some of these anomalies going on in the system. And everybody tends to believe that, accept the way things are happening. They tend to accept the new normal of misinformation, propaganda, corruption. Name them. This is where we are as a nation. So Nigeria needs to rise up, come out, and register their grievances on a daily basis. Because some of the parties who are supposed to hold this government accountable have been disseminated. They have been rendered impotent, if I may use that word. Apart from the likes of Peter Obi, who have been coming up to speak. But we need more than a Peter Obi to challenge some of this anomaly. We need the entire opposition to rise up and challenge government, expose some of these ills and some of this misinformation that they are trying to push through the media to Nigerian public, so that they will now look as if they are doing the right thing. So this is where we are as a nation, and it's unfortunate. So we need to rise up as a nation. If we truly want to redeem and recover this country, it's going to be a collective effort. It's not something that we allow some selected few individuals to be speaking. The entire nation needs to come out and speak against some of this bad governance that this APC government has meted on Nigeria. So we need to rise up and do something about it. Thank you.
Yeah, but Mr. Kinney, before I let you go,
the Tinubu's Japa syndrome. I mean, today he has, told us that the reports coming in is that he has gone to the UK. Do you think or see him making any effort towards the pressing issue of the demand on the end bad governance protest, or you think he has left that to the hands of Shetima to deal with?
I must tell us that if we are expecting anything from Chief Bola Tinubu concerning the mood of the nation, I think we are expecting from a wrong source. I'm not surprised that he came back from a week ago or thereabout, and now he's out again to go and continue from where he stopped. And remember when he visited Borno, he did mention to them that it was because of the flood that made him to come back. That ordinarily he ought not to have been back in the country. But because of the flood, as a concerned and a concerned president, so he had to touch base back with his people to to empathize and commiserate with them on what has happened. But again, look at this is what it is. We have entire leadership that are insensitive to the need of the people. So his traveling out clearly shows that it does not care about what is happening in the nation. Neither does he send any Nigerian whatever they are going through. So it's a clear shot. He's not even handing it to anybody. As a matter of fact, we have not seen any handing over note or informing the National Assembly that he's going out for a certain social period of time, and as a result, social person is going to be in charge, no matter how short a time is. A responsible leader, if he's going out for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, should be able to make a proper handing over to ensure that there is continuity in governance. But these people don't care about it. The Chief Bola Tinubu doesn't care about it. As far as he's concerned, what pleases him is to jump into these new baby jets and enjoy his cruise to UK and have a good time there and leave Nigeria to wallow in their pain. And that's where it is. We have an insensitive government, and that's how it is. We should not expect some of those things. We shouldn't expect anything better from them. That's the best they can offer as it stands. Thank you.
Kinney, talking about the jetting out on his or cruising out on his new.
Do you notice that Nigerians has already forgotten or the talk about this presidential jet? It has died. Do you also notice that the government has not told the citizens how much is the cost of purchase of that same aircraft? But probably we'll talk about that later. Let's quickly, before we come back on the discussion about the lives of his Chief Bola Tinubu, some people has already demanded about where protests are being held, or is the protest in continuation and all of that. But let me just list out some of these things before we take a commentary. You know that protesters gathered in Ikeja under bridge. This is for people who are actually sending messages on the platform to know where these protests are being held. That was starting from yesterday. The protest was Ikeja under bridge, and of course they were all demanding change, and it was closely monitored by a large contingent of security personnel, including police officers, Lagos neighborhood safety corps officials, and so many other Nigerian civil defense, and so many others. For Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital, protest organizers, that is Dumka by name, alleged that he and Take It Back movement leader Adeyemi Ademola were attacked by thugs accompanied by security operatives. Despite heavy security, about 50 counter-protesters took over the federal secretariat, that is, and the pleasure park of Rivers State, the designated protest venue. The incident occurred near the Hotel Presidential of We Know. Then, of course, they have another one at Oshogbo. Oshogbo, that is the Osun State capital. Their protesters gathered under banners of the Coalition of Concerned Nigerian Citizens and Take It Back movement. I mean, they began their march at around, I think, the Freedom Park, accompanied by security operatives from various agencies, including the police, Department of Security Services, NSCDC, drug enforcement agents, all the even correctional services were all there. Now, for Benin City, which is Edo State, a coalition of civil society organizations in Edo State were speaking out and demanding change from this Tinubu-led administration yesterday. Also today, they made a call for restoration of the fuel subsidy removal, improvement on security, a revert to single legislature, among so many other issues. And of course, some of the people also at the northern side of it also take to the street. But let's take a brief commentary about what transpired, and then come back and continue our discussion with our next guest.
The protest, tagged Fearless in October, is coming barely 7 weeks after the End Bad Governance demonstrations, which took place in August. The protesters cited acute hunger and hardship as reasons they are protesting, and demanded government intervention to reduce the cost of food and energy prices. Former presidential candidate of the Africa Action Congress, Omoyele Sowore, alongside a crowd of placard-wielding protesters, demanded an end to the nation's economic crisis.
So today is Independence Day. Their Independence Day. We have come to say Nigeria needs brand new independence, and we are going to start fighting for it as part of our broader struggle to save our country, to take it back, take this country back from, the people already, the corporates. It is up to them to make it peaceful. It has been peaceful so far. If they conduct themselves, that is required of them. Security agencies, there was never a time we engaged in violent protests. Everybody knows that.
This is happening in the time of Tinubu, President Tinubu himself, who is this the democracy I used to watch him stand in the back of MK Abiola those days fighting for? Is this the democracy that Asiwaju himself has talked about? Or should we even talk about how he was also speedily pursuing the Jonathan Lane administration, calling them to book at every given time?
This garri is sold for 200 naira. This is pure water is sold for 100 naira. My people are suffering. You people on top, you might not know what we are going through. I have little, but the little is not enough for my people. People are suffering. People now trek from 1 kilometer to another because they cannot board a vehicle to where they are going. People are suffering. They cannot even send their children to school.
You can see Nigeria, they say they are celebrating 64 years of independence. Well, we don't have independence. What we have that day was just a power shift between the white master and the black master. Where the white master were living, they handed power to the black masters. And those black masters, they constitute themselves as our national disaster as today. Because Nigeria hardly had a national disaster. But today, what we have as our national disaster is our leaders. We expect that with 1960 till date, when Nigerians, took over the reign of political office, that things will have turned the other way around to build a country where citizens of that country will be happy that this is their country. But interestingly, the scorecard that reads, from Balewa, Aguiyi-Ironsi, through all of the military regimes to the Second Republic, the military dictators, back to the Third Republic that didn't occur, now to this Fourth Republic, it is the same scorecard of continuous underdevelopment.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police assured the public that security personnel were on ground to maintain law and order.
It's peaceful, like you said. We had some plans in place, and we kept to our plans. We assure Lagosians that today will be each free of any disturbances, and that's what they have. We have men deployed before this assignment, during, and after the assignment, our men will still be deployed to very strategic places so that people feel safe. And we have a lot of visibility, as you can see, to restore confidence in people that there is no reason to panic in Lagos.
Since 7:30 a.m. today, Nigerians have flooded the streets of Lagos to vent their displeasure at the hunger in the land, moving all the way from Ikeja on the bridge to Ganifawa Park here in...
Of course, that is bringing us back to reality again. Protests that started yesterday, of course, they say they'll continue until their voice are heard. But who is going to listen? Is it Chief Bola Tinubu that had jetted off or had japped to the UK that will now listen to them from the UK? What are our people in diaspora in the UK doing about this? If he's going to UK and the demand for protest is down here, what do our people in diaspora do? Are they permitted also to protest at the Nigerian High Commission in the UK? That is me throwing out to our people in diaspora. Wherever he is, he needs to answer to the demands of the people in Nigeria who are under state capture. Now, let's get the opinion of Christian Ako, who is joining us all the way from Niger State. Christian, you've heard Chief Bola Tinubu is not listening to the protesters. The claims of 30 billion US dollars foreign direct investment lies of yesterday in his speech. And of course, tell me what your thoughts are in all of this, because there's so much reaction coming from people about Tinubu's lies and lies and lies on this administration.
Good evening, fellow panelists and Obedience Worldwide. It's not something that should surprise anyone that is familiar with the antics of the APC. All they do before they came to power, they came into what? Propaganda. They are in and they're also exploiting the what? Propaganda strategy. Don't be surprised that what they present to Nigerians as independent speech will have been a pre-recorded speech. Don't underrate the strategy of these criminals who are occupying power. Another thing, I don't expect anything much from the government because they don't have the legitimacy, the goodwill. They are not enjoying the goodwill of the masses because they came in by crook and hook. So you don't expect them to carry out governance in a way that will be favorable to the masses. There were times when the incumbent even made it an open declaration that he came in, he bought the office with his money. He was addressing all the Emirates that were gathered at the villa. So such personality, you don't expect him to dance to the tune of the masses. As a matter of fact, he's jet out of the country because they don't rate us. They don't rate the masses. They understand our weakness, our docility. Nigerians are not ready yet. The day Nigerians are ready, they will chase out the criminalities that are in charge of this country in less than 30 minutes. If the over 2 million population realize that those who are keeping us hostage are less than 1,000, Mr. Kanu, what does it take? But we are docile down to the security network. They are all docile because we are all facing the same market situation. And they are answering the slavery call. You know, they use the gun that have been given to them by the government to oppress the masses. I can't understand the irony where a standing policeman who is under a salary less than 50,000 will confidently point his gun against a protester demanding good government. If there is a good government, doesn't he? The policeman should be aware that his contemporary in developed countries, they know what they earn at the end of the month. But in comparison to what a fellow constable of the Nigerian police earns at the end of the month, you realize that there's nothing to write home about. And that's why you see our situation is so downtrodden. The economy of our people is so down. The purchasing power is so low. We cannot even measure up. We are conquered people. We are conquered in all ramifications. We are conquered economically. We are conquered morally. We are conquered religiously. So in all aspects I can think about, the people are down. We are down. So I look up to a time when Nigerians will realize that the fear we've had over the years in reality do not exist. And if you continue to fear, the consequences of hunger is always with us. So it's one day I realize Nigerians will wake up and do the right thing. But at the moment, no, we are not ready. Just a few weeks ago, Edo election was stolen and the people were watching. They sold out, all because of 20,000 naira bargaining power presented by the APC. 20,000 naira, Mr. Kanu, is less than $18. So how can someone sell out 4 years prison time all because of this piecemeal? It's a sorry situation. It's a state capture situation. And I really sympathize that we are in this.
Christian, you see, just having mentioned the issue of Edo State, that reminds me that there was a fresh protest breakout in Edo State where the PDP supporters blocked INEC office demanding reversal of the governorship result. Is that not crying out
over a spilled milk?
In the first instance, the PDP, they have no moral ground to challenge the election because the strategy they adopted is the same strategy that the APC candidate adopted. It was a situation where money was exchanging hands, but the highest bidder took the day. PDP were accused of presenting 10,000 to voters. APC candidate brought in 20,000 naira, and that was how he took the day. The Labour Party was not sharing money because we don't believe in that principle. But the people, instead of sitting down and making a wise decision that will give them a good return in the long run, they were after immediate gratification. The 20,000, the 10,000, they all collected. Today, where are they? That money will have gone in less than 2 days.
So clearly, the protest that is breaking out at the INEC office demanding reversal of the governorship results is just a mere waste of time. Is that correct?
It's a mere waste of time. It is null. It is void. It has no moral substance, and it has no place in the constitution because they are also victim of what they are accusing APC of. That is why there is no difference between the PDP and APC. They are all believers of the same gods.
All right, thank you very much. Let me go to Mr. Tony directly now.
Mr. Tony, still on this Edo State that Christian just raised up the issue about what happened there. Let me just say the protest that is happening is still, ongoing. As of today, we still have people who are wearing placards calling for INEC to reverse the results and all of that. They believe that the PDP candidate Monda Obebolo won. The PDP candidate Asue Gadola won the election and not Monday Opabola of the APC. They are seriously accusing INEC of manipulating these results of election in favor of the APC. Now, the question is this not a clear waste of time? Is these people who are protesting not supposed to be protesting about the hunger? Because we believe that the 20,000 naira or the 10,000 naira, like Akko Christian said, would have finished since maybe a week ago. It should have been done. So why are they still protesting for something that they know obviously won't happen?
Thank you for having me, Mr. Kanu. I just think that they are an angry bunch, still hurting as a result of the election, knowing fully well that nothing is going to happen. Remember what they told them: if you don't like it, go to court. And that is where they should channel their grievances to. Protesting is just showing that they are angry. They are still angry. The thing that amazes me is when all those things were happening, they weren't doing anything to counteract that event. It's like what happened to us last year in Enugu State, when you can see from the results of 16 local governments that LP was leading with about 11,000 votes. And what these people did, the PDP, was to wait until the 16 local governments result came in. And they went to Kanu East to manipulate the vote there. And then, knowing fully well that they are losing by 11,000, they gave themselves 30,000 votes. Now, what happened? When they came to a collection center, I'm sorry, I'm diverting. I just want to explain to you that certain actions becomes too late. When it came to collection center, knowing fully well that they should have cancelled those polling booths in that local government, they delayed and then called Abuja. Abuja told them to come to Abuja so that they can recalculate the result. And they went to Abuja for 2 days and came back and manipulated the result. And people were just praying around the INEX office, not doing anything. That could have been the time, really. That was the appropriate time to storm the streets and say, no, we can't have it. Rather, people were just docile. A couple of people came out and they were praying, and they just manipulated the results and gave the PDP the election. So, although people, when they saw what was going on, could have prevented INEC from announcing by demonstrating, storming the streets. Storming the streets, and INEC would be afraid to pronounce bad results, forged results, I believe. You see what happened in Kanu? They stormed the streets, and the judges could not manipulate that election. If they didn't do that, they could have given the APC that state. So what is required is active citizens. Really, if we really want to snatch this captured state from the captors, it's not going to be prayers. God has given us the skill, the will, power to use our brains to make changes in our lives. Until we realize that and stop asking God to come and intervene, nothing is going to happen. The state capture will be to the point that nobody will be able to do anything. They're going to hold us for ransom.
Tony, due to time, can you please tell us also your take on the issue of Chief Bola Japas to the UK amidst this very protest and the demand of good governance in Nigeria? He seems not to care about however the protest turns out to be, and for him to have left at this hour.
Yeah, because they have a template they use. And the first time it worked for them. So now that the first time it worked for them perfectly, they don't have to worry again. So you can demonstrate, you can protest as long as you want to. It's not going to bother them anymore. He's jockeying around the world in the guise of looking for investments. This is not how it is done. It is not how you don't jockey around the world looking for people to come and invest. Fix your country. Make the environment conducive for investment. They will come. Nigeria has a big population. They will be scrambling to come to Nigeria. But when you don't fix your base, your economic structure, your social structure, your judicial structure, you don't fix those, you're wasting your time. You're just enjoying flying around the world. That's exactly what it is. You don't see like some of African countries doing what Nigerian presidents do, which is joking around the world saying that they are looking for investment. How many times have you seen like South African presidents flying around the world looking for investment? People, they are coming because they have a conducive environment for investors.
Okay.
My last rest of Nigerians.
Okay. My last question to you, Tony, would be, we know we have a lot of Nigerians in diaspora, especially in the UK.
Do you think it will be proper for Nigerians in the UK to also stage their own end bad governance protest in the UK, since Chief Bola Tinubu happens to be having his vacation over there, as in creating awareness that not just the people back home, but also people in diaspora are also being affected by the bad governance of Tinubu's administration?
I think that they're also tired of protesting. This is my take. When the government is not listening to protesters at home, maybe why should we bother ourselves protesting? The correct thing could have been, whenever the man shows up in foreign countries, Nigerians should remind him to go back and take care of his people by protesting. But it looks like everybody's weary of protesting right now. Maybe time will come when people will be up and doing, you know. I hope that time comes sooner than later, because Nigeria is on a journey to nowhere.
All right. Thank you very much, Tony. I think that is as much as we can take right now. For those of you who
wish to know again, a fact check on Chief Bola Tinubu's broadcast of yesterday's 64th independence of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is a lie about the 30 billion naira direct foreign investment in the last 1 year. the Bureau of Statistics has come up with their own figures, of which we have brought out here today. And also, we have also let our people know that Chief Bola Tinubu has also departed with his new brand aircraft back to the UK to enjoy his stay, while the people in Nigeria keeps demanding for good governance, and the protest everywhere, he seems not to care. And of course, the protest organizers have said that it's going to continue. But then we'll keep our head focused and keep our watch, our reports coming in. I wish also to thank you once again for being with us, for listening in today. Like, share, subscribe. And for those active citizens, Mr. Bassi, Tony, Christian, that joined us today and give their own opinion on this discussion, thank you so much for being with us and always being with us. Until tomorrow, when we come back again. Bye for now.